Bang. Well, Jake Paul, and Dana White. It seems like there's always something with these two. We are here at Tarps Off MMA. I'm Chris Mancuso. That's Jack Gotzel. Jack, um, first off, Jake Paul comes out today and claims that he has bought a large amount of stock from Endeavor and that he's going to be pushing for change. Now, anybody that doesn't know, Endeavor is the company that owns the UFC. They're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, which we're going to talk about in a moment, because Jake Paul came out today and basically said he's invested in the UFC and his number one goal is to start pushing for change in fighter pay. Hold on, though, not so fast, Jack. My boy from Canada, Aaron Bronsteter, really, decided to piss on the flames that him and Ariel Helwani were trying to drive up like this was some huge news. Not so fast, motherfuckers.
Well, it was your boy from Canada that kind of started it in the first place with the
We don't give him Canada. You guys adopted Ariel now.
But yeah, they go back and forth at it. Ariel kind of still trying to get the last word. He ended up getting the last word, even though Bronsteter kind of proved his point and proved to be right that this wasn't a big deal. It's not going to put Jake Paul at the boardroom table. I mean, maybe when this gets played up a little bit, we'll see what happens, because Jake Paul did partner with some very important people there with a lot of money in their pockets. So we'll see if that becomes something real. But right now, it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, so he's invested in Endeavor, but here's something that I found interesting that Bronsteter said. Because he said to Ariel Helwani's thing, he's like, he bought EDR stock. It's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. They went back and forth a bit. And then Ariel goes, bro, really? And he's like, yeah, really. Silver Lake owns 91 million shares, which is 35% total of Endeavor shares owned. Unless he's buying 10 plus million shares worth 300 plus million, there isn't much he can do as a shareholder to influence actual corporate change. And for what it's worth, according to Yahoo Finance, yesterday the average 3-month volume, which is the dollars traded on EDR stock, was 2.1 million. Yesterday's volume was 1.45 million. So he really couldn't have bought all that much. They're trying to hype it up like Jake Paul's coming and he's going
to be Dana's boss.
Board.
He's going to be firing Dana.
Listen, I get where he's coming from. It's funny. He's trying to troll him, but not so fast. Fool us once with watching his brother box Floyd Mayweather. Shame on them. Fool us twice, though. Shame on us not getting fooled again. George W. Bush, won't get fooled again. Not a chance.
But now Jake Paul says he has this big announcement to make with Ariel
on Friday.
We'll be here.
Either that guy that he got involved is going to buy a lot more because people caught on to it, or it's legitimately going to just be a Jake Paul like giving Dana White a noogie NFT or something stupid. I could see it being that.
So do you think that Jake Paul is serious about trying to like help out fighters and he really wants fighters to get paid? Or is this all a way for him to get paid?
I think he actually does, because he's in boxing. Like, I mean, the kid made 40 million last year boxing. He's the highest paid athlete under 25. I do not believe that it was a big deal to him until Dana White really started talking shit. And he was like, well, wait a minute. They actually don't get paid fair over there. Like, and then, he's doing it for like, I think he cares about it now, but I think the underlying reason is to just give it to Dana and like keep himself in the news. Like I think he's sincere about it, but there's definitely underlining things that are for his personal gain.
Yeah, you think Dana shouldn't have picked this fight?
I think Dana White should have just, like, it didn't even really need to be talked about. And it's like he keeps going back at it. And everybody knows Paul's promoter used to work for the UFC. Him and Dana don't like each other. You got to think that there's some people pulling the strings with Jake Paul a little bit too. Clearly he's a UFC fan. The kid goes out there all the time and pretends like he acts like Conor McGregor did at every different press conference. Like, he's clearly a fan, but the numbers always don't look great in Dana's favor for how he pays the fighters. So, it was always going to come to this, but I worry, man. I don't want necessarily the sport to ever lose Dana White. You know what I
No,
mean?
I wish Dana would just take a step back here for a minute
Yeah.
because he's getting in this beef with Jake Paul. He's getting in this beef with Francis Ngannou. It's like, Dana, stay in your lane here. You don't need to be fighting with anybody. It's never a good look.
Yeah. So while Jake Paul did buy Endeavor shares, it would be very, very hard for him to actually have any impact inside the organization. It would essentially be like me buying a bunch of Nike shares and being like, we're not running sweatshops anymore, guys. Don't stress. Do you think Dana White has met his match on the fighter pay issue with Jake Paul? And do you think the 25-year-old YouTube boxer troll, do you think he's going to actually make a difference with fighter pay? Let us know in the comments. Hit subscribe, like it, and we are out of here.